What's going on? It's Patrick. Wanted to talk to you about some reflections I have been having recently. So right now I'm in the state of Florida, about to invest in myself for Tony Robbins, going to unleash the power within, kind of see what else I can learn and how I can help people and also help myself as well. So I ended up leaving early because I decided to drive my car here, and a little unpredictable with the driving, so I didn't want to book my hotel ahead of time, especially since I did it earlier. I do have my hotel through the rest of the time here, but for this night that I left 2 nights ago, I ended up driving for about 16 hours, breaking it up a little bit, and it was late at night last night, and I was thinking, am I going to check into a hotel, or maybe I can just sleep in my car? So I decided to give that a try, and I did want to talk a little bit about my thoughts on homelessness and stuff like that. So as some of you guys know, I work as a therapist in a drug and alcohol rehab. The hardest part of my job is fighting for my clients to have adequate housing. It is something that I could say it's almost like to my own detriment that I've sacrificed so that my clients would have housing. So I never really was able to feel the urgency and the impact. I was always confused why my clients in drug addiction did not focus on getting their housing. And sometimes, in fact, they would actually say no to their housing, which is kind of rough because when you're a beggar, you can't really be a chooser. So I've been put in them positions to really fight for them. A question I always ask them is, how many days is too long to be homeless? And, I say it with a little smile, but I mean, they end up answering it and I answer it for them just in case they forget. A single day being homeless is too many days homeless. So what was really awesome about this experience of sleeping in my car, you can call it homeless. It's not necessarily like an actual house, but it is a shelter, and I was able to do it as such. Quick little tip as well, if you ever think about doing the little nomad style, what you can do is you can pull out the seat in the back so you can lay flat on your seat and in the trunk, and that kind of has like a full shelter, so it's like a bed effect, and you're not going to be like in fetal position in like your back seat, or very uncomfortable in the front seat reclined back. So yeah, a lot of thoughts were really coming for me when I was going through this. First of all, the quality of sleep was just terrible. That's to be expected. But yeah, a lot of it had to do with fear. I was in a rest stop and I just couldn't fall asleep because there's too much light pollution and a lot of passing trucks. They make a lot of noise and they wake you up. So I thought I got like a full night of sleep, and I pretty much dozed off for about 30 minutes and that woke me up. So after that, I started driving around and I looked for the darkest neighborhood, quietest neighborhood I possibly could get in. So I ended up finding one, and I pull over to the side of the road, right, and I'm, sleeping in the back with my whole fold down setup. And around 3:50 a.m., I get this car that's like pulling up to probably like the back, probably like right over here. And they're facing the opposite direction of me in their car, and they're just flashing a light and just flashing a light and flashing a light. It was like simultaneously the weirdest and scary situation that I thought I would be encountering. I thought it would just be smooth sailing and all that. So I ended up leaving there, and then I found another parking lot that I ended up sleeping the rest of the night. So from this experience, it did make me think of a lot of things. Like, first off, I think this also would relate to anyone that's watching this video, is the sacrifices that were made to get you in the position that you're in now, that comes directly from your ancestors, right? And other people who have contributed some kind of value and benefit for your lineage to succeed, and as far as we're concerned, you to succeed. And something like this, you know, you could call it call it a luxury, really. My ability to do this fast, it really showed me what that suffering really is on another level. And I mean, it's not something that's extraordinary, but it's enough to make me remember where I come from. And I would say that through these reflections, I would encourage you guys to remember where you came from. Remember the sacrifices that were made for you to get here. Some people go into war, combat, others sacrifice blood, sweat, and tears, their sleep, their energy. All these things people are sacrificing and have sacrificed for you to get into your privileged position. No matter how big or small you may say your position is, to be here, to be alive, is a privilege. So don't overestimate or forget about where you came from. So upon these reflections, not only is this a good thing, but my mind is kind of trained this way to think about, how can I make this to more of a win? Hey, these reflections have already been a win for me, and I'm going to take these and make them more fruitful. But the second thing that I'm going to do as well is the money that it would have taken me to have a hotel. I mean, you know, it's few change, right? But I want you guys to get in the habit of thinking this stuff. I immediately took that money this morning and I put it right into my stocks. So not only is this money going to be money that I'm saving, it's going to go to something that's going to be more long-term and hopefully will grow into something else. So I'm making this very fruitful. So this experience is going to lead to my future, right? It's going to be directly tied to what the quality of my life can be in the future with this sacrifice and with these reflections. So I kind of situated it and reframed it to be a win-win scenario. So I'm quite satisfied with that. Right now, I've been doing a lot of reflecting and listening to some audiobooks. Right now I'm listening to one called The Compound Effect, and this will be a good habit that I want to impart to you guys as well, as a fruit and a product of this all. But one of the things I talk about is writing down your bad habit traits, and every time you do that, just journal it and write it down. I'm going to take that with your spending, like anytime you want to go out to eat when you don't need to, you know, go out with friends, unless you choose to, and that's an investment, right? But if you're doing that too much, or you're buying that expensive coffee, something like that, what I want you to do is take that, and when you sacrifice it, just like I sacrificed this hotel and this housing to experience this, I want you to take that and use that money that would have been used for that and put it right into your investing, and do that every single time. Do that for about a month and see what kind of results you have. From us at High Shield, this is Patrick once again signing off.